The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. When you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot in it and hang on. The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. In politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. Happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow will be our doubts of today. Men are not prisoners of fate, but only prisoners of their own minds. A nation that destroys its soils destroys itself. Forests are the lungs of our land, purifying the air and giving fresh strength to our people. The virtues are lost in self-interest as rivers are lost in the sea. There are many ways of going forward, but only one way of standing still. I ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made. Human kindness has never weakened the stamina or softened the fiber of a free people. A conservative is a man with two perfectly good legs who, however, has never learned to walk forward. I'm not the smartest fellow in the world, but I can sure pick smart colleagues. We, and all others who believe in freedom as deeply as we do, would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. The point in history at which we stand is full of promise and danger. The world will either move forward toward unity and widely shared prosperity, or it will move apart. Repetition does not transform a lie into a truth. Confidence thrives on honesty, on honor, on the sacredness of obligations, on faithful protection and on unselfish performance. Without them, it cannot live. Let us never forget that government is ourselves and not an alien power over us. Remember always, that all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. The truth is found when men are free to pursue it. Peace, like charity, begins at home. We have always held to the hope, the belief, the conviction that there is a better life, a better world, beyond the horizon. The school is the last expenditure upon which America should be willing to economize. In our personal ambitions, we are individualists. But in our seeking for economic and political progress as a nation, we all go up or else all go down as one people. If civilization is to survive, we must cultivate the science of human relationships. We have faith that future generations will know here, in the middle of the 20th century, there came a time when men of good will found a way to unite and produce, and fight to destroy the forces of ignorance, and intolerance, and slavery, and war. Courage is not the absence of fear, but rather the assessment that something else is more important than fear. I have seen war. I have seen war on land and sea. I have seen blood running from the wounded. I have seen the dead in the mud. I have seen cities destroyed. I have seen children starving. I have seen the agony of mothers and wives. I hate war. It is the duty of the President to propose and it is the privilege of the Congress to dispose. The virtues are lost in self-interest as rivers are lost in the sea. There is nothing I love as much as a good fight. The only sure bulwark of continuing liberty is a government strong enough to protect the interests of the people, and a people strong enough and well informed to maintain its sovereign control over the government. In the truest sense, freedom cannot be bestowed, it must be achieved. The lessons of the past in the successful liberation of enslaved peoples are clear. These same lessons must guide us now and in the future. The only thing that will save the world is the reclaiming of the awareness of the world. That's what poetry does. Where there is no vision, the people perish. We are trying to construct a more inclusive society. We are going to make a country in which no one is left out. The ablest men in all walks of life are inevitably those who do not read advice into what is merely report. A radical is a man with both feet firmly planted in the air. We must be the great arsenal of democracy. Remember always, that all of us, and you and I especially, are descended from immigrants and revolutionists. No man can tame a tiger into a kitten by stroking it. Those who have long enjoyed such privileges as we enjoy forget in time that men have died to win them. It is an unfortunate human failing that a full pocketbook often groans more loudly than an empty stomach. It takes a long time to bring the past up to the present. Our national determination to keep free of foreign wars and foreign entanglements cannot prevent us from feeling deep concern when ideals and principles that we have cherished are challenged. Self-interest is the enemy of all true affection. We look forward to a world founded upon 4 essential human freedoms. The first is freedom of speech and expression. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way. The third is freedom from want. The fourth is freedom from fear. In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon 4 essential human freedoms. To the perpetuation of these principles, America is dedicated. We are engaged in a war to defend them. A war can never be won by attacking innocent civilians. Freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. Our support goes to those who struggle to gain those rights and keep them. Our strength is our unity of purpose. We have learned that we cannot live alone at peace, that our own well-being is dependent on the well-being of other nations far away. Democracy cannot succeed unless those who express their choice are prepared to choose wisely. True individual freedom cannot exist without economic security and independence. The only sure bulwark of continuing liberty is a government strong enough to protect the interests of the people. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. I pledge you. I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people.